All right, so we're at the headquarters of Turning Point USA. Here in Phoenix, we were 8 minutes away working on another story, and when all of this happened with the assassination that happened in Utah, we thought we would come down here right now. Behind me is the headquarters of Turning Point USA, and there's a lot of people that have gathered here already. This just happened yesterday. We're going to try to get some reaction and talk to some people right now. Okay, so people are paying their respects right here. Can you get up there a little bit more and kind of show? People have gathered here spontaneously. There's a lot of news crew here. There's probably 100 people here so far, and cars are showing up by the minute here. I think there's going to be a very large crowd here at some point soon, and there's lots of tears, and I just feel like people are trying to just understand how this could happen right now. Everybody seems really devastated. What's your name? Where do you live, and why did you come here?
My name's Brad. I live out on the west side. I was working in Mesa. Came in to pay my respects.
Mm-hmm. What is it about what Charlie Kirk stood for that upsets the left, the Democrats?
Because he was effective. He wasn't a radical. He was a moderate by any stretch of the imagination. You know, I disagreed with him on a great number of things. You know, people would call me an extremist. You know, he was the best of us. He was a moderate. He could speak to my boomer grandparents just as much as he could speak to the neighborhood kid down the street that's 16 years old. And he knew how to connect with the youth. And he went into the left's power circles, the universities, and he corrupted their people away from them. He took them back from them, and he was effective at his job. And he was the only one left of us willing to debate them and use words, and they killed him for it. And you know, you assassinate the last right winger that's willing to debate in good faith and change your minds, and you show that words don't work anymore, and you prove that with a bullet, things can get very ugly very, very quickly, which is something that Charlie talked about all the time. So that you have to have debates, because if you don't, people speak with their fists and they vote with their rifles. And that's not something anyone in this country wants, but it's something that we're fast approaching. And I pray not only for Charlie's family, but also that he wasn't the last gasp of desperation to try to steer us away from that. Because you can see in 1930s Spain just how bad it is when things get to that point. And that's not something I want for the country that I love. But, you know, the rules have changed. I felt it last night. I mean, even more so than Trump in July, when they took a shot at our president. There's a level of, not expectation, but almost like acceptance that like, I was surprised and I was shocked and horrified and angry, just pissed off, infuriated. But at some level, you sort of understand that is a risk of the job that you're under as a presidential candidate or as a president, especially one that's trying to make some good changes. We've had presidents assassinated in the past, you know, so it's not outside the realm of possibility. So I think that had less of an effect on me and people like me. But Charlie Kirk was a civilian. He's just a guy who cared deeply about this country and deeply about his people. He cared deeply for his faith and his family. And he committed the crime of speaking to the left and speaking to young kids and trying to convince them of the worthiness of his cause and for fighting for his Christian faith. And they orphaned his kids for it. And I think that seeing that, everyone my age, everyone that looks like me, that thinks like me, we saw the Ukrainian woman stabbed to death on the subway and thought, that could be our sister. That could be our daughter. That could be our mother. Charlie was us. You know, she was minding her own business, wasn't bothering anyone, and they killed her for it. Just because she was white in the wrong place at the wrong time. Charlie stood for what he believed in, and the young men that are doing the same, we see a lot of ourselves in him, and to see the man's life leave his body in high definition, it puts things into perspective. I'll say that.
Okay, what is your name?
Amanda.
Amanda, how do you feel about the reaction to everybody? I mean, I think you just said that we should all be mourning, not.
We should absolutely all be mourning. It's sad that we have come to this place as a country where people are applauding something that is so depraved and just, it's terrible. And to be on social media and see people saying, we're not going to miss him. You know what? I'm not upset about it. Or even worse, actually clapping and applauding and saying, hate begets hate. That is never what that phrase meant. It's not what it was intended to mean. And they're right, hate does beget hate, but they are the ones who are carrying that hatred. And I hope for, I hope the takeaway from all of this is, you know what, he's a great man. He actually engaged in debate. He didn't force his views upon others. And that's something we should all take away from this is, you know what, at the end of the day, he was a human being who opened that platform, and he never said, all of these other factions are wrong, or you deserve your loss of life over this, or, he engaged people. And for him to lose his life over that, we all need to rethink where we are at as a society.
Do you think this is going to further divide people?
I do think it's going to further divide people. On one hand, I'm seeing a lot of Christians come to the plate and, are coming to his defense. And we are disheartened to see, anybody could applaud this. It doesn't matter what religion you are. At the end of the day, murder is murder. And that's something every single religion can agree on. So for a single soul to applaud this, we don't just need Christian religion. We need all religions to take a deeper look at what are we doing? No religion supports murder. And the divides that we're seeing now, I don't think they're going to be religious divides. They are truly political divides because of his views on certain things, not just on God, but on everything. And what I'm seeing right now is liberal and conservative. And the people I see celebrating this are very liberal. And at the end of the day, you know what? I don't care what political party anybody is. At the end of the day, we're all human. But I do see that this is going to cause divide, and some people are going to react very strongly for him, and maybe not rightfully. And we're also going to see the people who are applauding. I mean, we just saw on social media, there was, a motorcyclist who drove through and was, making very crude remarks, and people reacted with violence. And that's something, it's just like, you know what? Don't give them that time. Don't sink to that level.
Okay, I saw you over here. You were very broken up, clearly, tears in your eyes. What did Charlie Kirk mean to you as a young man?
Well, a year ago, my now wife and I moved out here from Wisconsin, and we didn't have any friends or connections out here, and we were fans of Turning Point, and we went to a Turning Point gathering for traditional Christians, and I ended up meeting some of Charlie's team, and they asked me if I wanted to volunteer at the J.D. Vance rally they hosted in Mesa last year during the election, and they ended up giving me a job, and I got to work with Charlie and his team and Turning Point throughout the election cycle, and they gave me and my at the time fiance a home, family, friends, and I'm now working in politics because of Charlie, and I will never forget the 7 months I worked with them. He was one of the nicest people. Like you think people with influence and following are going to be egotistical or pushing others down because they aren't on the same level, but Charlie was never like that. I got to work with him 6 times, and each of those times would start with a handshake and how are things, and he was never afraid to talk to us, and he was always happy. He made it like I was an intern at the time, and the Turning Point family would make us all. It was a family, and I'm forever grateful for the opportunities that Turning Point and Charlie gave me, and I hope that. I just hope people are taking this as seriously as it deserves to be taken, because we're a country that was founded on the principle of you're allowed to believe what you want and say what you want, and somebody took Somebody took Charlie's ability to do that. And our number one intrinsically instilled value is the right to life. And as Christians, and it's not our place to take that from others. And that's what happened here yesterday in a country that's not supposed to happen. The good thing is that there are now hundreds of thousands of us that are going to continue on Charlie's legacy, and we're not afraid to say the truth. And I just want Charlie's family and all of them to know that we love them, and Charlie was an amazing person, and he was our generation's Rush Limbaugh, and gave us a voice, and we're going to continue on to fight for him.
Yeah. So what do you think is next? Does this lose momentum? Can we rebound from this? Is there a way that what do you think?
Yeah, we can rebound. This is, look, just history of the United States. When the Democrats didn't get their way about slavery, they killed Lincoln. When the Democrats didn't get their way, they tried to kill Reagan. When the Democrats didn't get their way, they tried to kill Trump. When they didn't get their way now, they killed Charlie. It's that simple. When they didn't get their way, they killed JFK. That's how it, and we bounce back every single time, because that's what Americans do. And it's not American of us to cower and hide and not talk about these things. We're a courageous people, and that's why we embarked on an experiment that has now lasted 250 years, and it's going to continue on for another 250 years because of people like Charlie instilling people like me and my friends and my family, my generation, with those values, because America is the greatest country on the planet, and it always will be, as long as there are people like Charlie and people that are influenced by Charlie.
Thanks. All right, what is your name, sir? Where do you live, and why are you here?
My name is Elias Fuentes, and I live in Katy, Texas.
What do you think of what happened yesterday?
Well, of course, it's a terrible situation. I think it's not fair. It's not fair for him. It's not fair for his family, and his kids. I understand that we may have disagreements, but nobody is forcing anybody to listen to you. Nobody was forcing these people to come up to the mic, just like you didn't force me here. So they can just walk away. They can change the radio station. They can change the YouTube channel. They can walk away. But taking somebody's life just because they have a disagreement of opinions or political view or religion, it's not right. But lately we see it more and more in this country. And I think it's terrible.
Why do you think that happened yesterday? Why do you think they did that?
I mean, personally, there can be a lot of thoughts. I mean, he was a very prominent right-wing conservative Catholic, Christian promoter. So that doesn't fit certain people's agenda. So I think it is my personal opinion that he was a threat.
What happens next?
I don't know. I hope nothing. I hope we come back to an agreement. We come back and just focus on America and focus on the American people, focus on work, focus not on illegals, focus on legal immigration, and just move forward.
Thank you.
That's what I wish.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. There's a really large news presence here, right here. This is the headquarters right here. What is your name, and where do you live?
I live in Santan Valley,
Okay.
and my name is Teresa Crapia.
Okay. Why did you come down here this morning?
I'm angry, very sad. Yeah.
Talk to me about why you're angry and sad. What?
Somebody killed him. Yeah, it shouldn't happen.
Why do you think this happened yesterday?
You ain't gonna like what I have to say. Okay. I think it's the Democrats. Yeah. I don't know what to say. It's very sad. He shouldn't have to die because of this. Our country is divided. No,
Why was he such an important person?
because he told it like it is. And he believed in God. No.
And then that, like, what is it about his message that angered so many people?
No, he told the truth. He told the truth like it is. Just, yeah.
A lot of people are just showing up and they're like in tears as they're arriving. So, what is your name and where do you live?
I'm Ken. I live in Goodyear.
Okay. Why did you come down here this morning?
Well, it wasn't my first intention. It was my wife's intention, and I said, okay, great. Sounds like a good idea. Got really hurt hard by the news yesterday, so it was really impactful, hard to work through in today. And so this was a good moment to come over here. It's not that far. I don't work far from here, so it's a good opportunity to come by. It's good to see the outpouring of prayers and wishes to Kirk and the foundation and their family.
What kind of a person was he to you? What did he mean to you?
Not a lot, let you know, to be truthful. I mean, you see him on TV, you see the rallies and things like that, especially during the Trump campaign and everything like that. But I think he's going to be more memorial and mean more to people in death than he did while alive. I really think that I can't equate anything to Martin Luther since I was a kid at the time, but I think it should spur in that kind of momentum in people, especially people of faith.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any thoughts on how divisive the country is and how this played a part in that?
It's too divisive. It's extremely divisive. I do think that somehow, some way, I mean, it needs to heal or we will be in another civil war eventually. I really think it's that deep and that people need to figure out how to turn it around. Or things like this will happen more and more frequently rather than less frequently.
How do you feel about the people that are celebrating this on social media right now?
Celebrating it like glad that he's dead. I've seen some YouTube posts of people saying, especially on college campuses, saying that they're glad and it was just really shocking to see, really sad to see that just a person who just spoke out to his own beliefs. So whether you're on the right or the left, you should be able to freely do that without being in fear that you are going to get assassinated. And especially for political views, which really have no standing.
Ari, you're a young man. What did Charlie Kirk mean to you, and how did you become involved in his movement?
Oh, well, when I was like 17, I started a Turning Point High School chapter. I was one of the first 3 high school chapters in all of Arizona to get started here. And met Charlie Kirk one day. I was at a Turning Point event, and I saw him. I ran straight up to him, and I was like, "Hey, Charlie," and he looked at me. He's like, "Hey, how old are you?" I'm 17, and he goes, "Oh, well, what do you want to do for a living?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, I would like to work for you, or I'd like to work for my dad as an electrician. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, And he's looks at me and he goes, "Oh, that's okay. Like, that's great. Like, I love that. You could do anything you want in the United States. That's the one thing I love about this country. I mean, he loved our country, and he's the best of what we have to offer.
Why he's been talked about as being a wonderful person, stood for free speech, didn't preach violence. Why did Democrats hate him? They're celebrating right now. What was it about him that they hated so much?
really don't know. I think, honestly, it feels like it was a demonic thing. He really preached Christ. He really loved Christ. I think. I saw it. Erica and his wife really brought him a lot closer to Christ. And I think that's what it was. I think that they hate us because, we're free, we're joyful, we love the Lord. They hate us because of it. They're very bitter people.
I think his ability to conversate with young men and get them motivated, and to teach them about themselves and about the country was one of his biggest legacies.
Oh, for sure.
How did he impact men of your generation?
I'll say it like I'm kind of older Gen Z, but I saw it firsthand. I saw all my friends and everything just start slowly coming more and more right wing, especially in this last election cycle. You see it right now with the statistics. Young men are the biggest demographic going to church right now, all because of him. He directed us a lot, going in the right direction, and he helped a lot.
Yeah. So can we continue that momentum, or is it gonna? How does this impact that?
I think so. I think this just gives us a lot more fire, and I'll say it. A lot of the young men that I know that are right wing like me, they're a lot more extreme. They're a lot more faithful to the cause. They love Christ, and a lot more extreme than people realize. And I think that's a good thing. I hope that it doesn't get really bad. I pray to God that it doesn't. But I think that the young men in particular have a deep understanding of the consequences and the actions that need to be taken to take over and take back our country.
I'm trying to get thumbnail here. Signs and flowers from all over continue to pour in. I'd imagine, this is probably going to be way more than this at some point. I think this has just happened an hour ago, and people are all showing up right now with more flowers and tears.
Hi guys, just sorry to bother you. I'm not asking you for anything, but I am going to be walking to hear the live shot. Yep, you can stay. I'm just letting you know I'm just trying.
Have you seen the people celebrating this on social media?
Yes, I will. And anything that I say in regards to that is gonna cause issues for me. So I'll just leave. I'll leave it at there needs to be something action taken, for sure, on that from a legal perspective. Absolutely, that it can't be allowed to continue, because like I said, you're going to get escalation, and it's just going to happen. You have millions of young men. I'm 26, but you have millions of young men just like me who have been shunned out of their university classrooms. They're unable to hold down a job that can afford them rent. They're struggling to get by in this country. They can't afford a home. They probably never will. The median home buying age is 38 now in this country. So you have millions of 18 to 26-year-old men that are on the right side of politics who look around them and say, I have nothing to live for right now, which also means they have nothing to lose. If you take from someone everything that they could possibly live for, every higher good, a family, a wife, the American dream, and then you villainize and you destroy their reputations and cancel them for their faith as well, now you've created a class of people that will soon have no qualms about taking matters into their own hands, which I don't want to see. Again, I really don't want to see that. But the writing's on the wall for it, you know? I mean, at a certain point, the straw will break the camel's back, and there won't be any going back. And it terrifies me at that thought, for sure.
Three things.
All right, we are good.
Okay, what is your name and why are you down here today?
I'm Cindy Buddha, and I came with my friend Laurel and our friend Kelly, and we were at 9/11 this morning, a tribute, and we just needed more closure after yesterday, and sleep much last night, and just thinking this out of ashes something good will come, and what that is revival, our faith, our stand. We won't stand down. We'll move it forward. This was not for anything. This was for nothing. This was to get us going and build us up and make us move forward with this. So that in Charlie's memory and for the glory of God.
Mm-hmm. Why was he so well liked by especially the younger generation?
You know, I think one of the primary reasons is because he listened to them. He listened to them. He asked them questions. He allowed them to ask him questions, and he had a calm demeanor about him, how he came across, and he really got them to think. Think about what you really stand for. Back it up. Validate it. Document that. And when they couldn't, they were flabbergasted. And, you know, I think it just got them to think, you know, about what is it I really stand for? And he could come back with, I know what I stand for. I know what I am. And he would document. And so I think it was a pivotal point in their thinking, their analysis on where they stand politically, religiously, and whatever. And I think he really got them thinking. I was just talking to a young man, 31 years old, and he was so important to his generation, and he did great work. And if you think about what he's done over the last few years, 18 to 20% rise in youth voters for Trump. That was instrumental in Trump winning the presidential election.
Is that why the big reason why the Democrat Party feared him the most? Then?
Oh, he was such a threat. And he had a moral compass, and he wasn't afraid to, express it. He didn't judge. He would rope them in with love and make them think for themselves and maybe question how they ever got their opinion thus far. And he was an example of a family man, and he'd say, okay, what are you doing in your life? This is what you need to do. Why are you having these problems? What choices are you making? And then he'd make them think for themselves. And I think it was a switch, that a switch would happen in their spirit because of it. Yeah.
I feel he was a rising star. He was a rising star, and they knew it. And they felt like they had to do something about that, because who knows? He could have even ran for president at one time down the road. He was so well versed in knowledge. Yeah, sure, he wasn't a graduate of college, but he challenged college students as to their knowledge compared to what he knew. And big gap, big difference. He's well educated. He educates himself, or did, and just very knowledgeable person. And so they feared him, and they felt like they needed to silence him. Well, here's the deal with everyone. No, you're not going to silence us. We're going to rise above it, and we're going to pick up that torch, and we're going to carry it.
Why is it about the Conservative Party that seems to be so calm and not so prone to violence and shutting down cancel culture, and the other side is completely the opposite? Why are they so divisive and angry and violent?
Because we have the Bible, and we may cry, we may be upset, we may feel down, but within hours we go to our Bible and we get fed and we get stronger. And that's what Charlie did too. And I think because of that, we get calm, and then we make choices, and then we'll rise up and we'll do it the right way.
I'm sitting here, it crossed my mind, you think you're safe somewhere, we're not safe. Nothing is safe.
Nowhere.
Right here.
Right here.
What does that say about our country, that we can't gather at all at anything without having to worry about dying?
That's a hard one. It is. But, you know, as long as you know where you're going, and Charlie knew. He knew where he was going. He knew the risk. Every day it was a risk for him to be out there. But he was not he was not afraid of death. And he knew where he's going, and he's in a good place right now. But on the other hand, for our family and our friends, it's scary. It is scary. I don't know what to do about that, but you just have to be vigilant. You have to be aware of your surroundings, and just have faith and trust in God that He'll take care of you. And you pray every day.
One more question: have you seen all over social media? There's people that are celebrating this. How do you feel about that?
I get, in my humanness, I feel a rage, and then I'm really sad, and I want to pray for their sad black soul. I'm sorry, it's a dark, dead soul. And I have to pray for them. Part of me just wants to shake them sometimes, but I never would. But I have to pray for them because I don't understand. And it's not political. They try to make it political. It's a spiritual war. It's a war of good versus evil. Right. And in the end, we can't fear because we know in the end where we'll be, and we'll be victorious. So, God decides. Charlie got a lot done in a short amount of time. And God just said, good and faithful servant. We'll use this for good. And I think there's going to be a revival.
This Charlie Kirk thing is so personal to me because Charlie Kirk is what America is all about: liberty, freedom, and we have to keep his legacy alive. It is such a shame that someone, took this beautiful young human being away from us. And you sit back and you ask yourself, why did God allow that to happen? Because he was such a spiritual human being, and a Christian, and a young man, a father, 2 beautiful children, a wife. But this will not be in vain. We will keep Charlie's name alive, and we will continue to fight for our freedoms and our liberties. And we're going to hopefully take this again nationwide, and hopefully this will galvanize, and we can stop the political rhetoric that has been going on about violence. There is no place in America for violence. We have got to stop. I don't care if you're a Democrat, you're a liberal, you're a conservative. We have to wake up as a country and stop killing and come together and find common ground. And we can have discord, we can have conversations, we can agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, we are all Americans, and we should be one unified country. And I'm just devastated that this has happened, but I hope that this will truly be a turning point for America, and that we will be able to move forward from this and come together as a nation, because we need to. And again, it's people, we've gone back to common sense. We have Trump in the White House, and we need to continue to move forward with a progressive agenda to really hopefully bring the people together. But our politicians have got to stop this rhetoric of violence, and it's primarily coming from the left. There's some responsibility on the right, but I think this incident that has happened hopefully will bring everybody together, and we'll find common ground. We can agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, violence is no place in American politics. It has to stop.
I agree. It's not bringing people together. If you look online, people are celebrating this.
It's terrible. It's terrible. They're evil people. They're not God-fearing Christians. They don't have a belief system, and but I think that is the minority. Even though you when you're in social media, you got to be careful, because you can kind of just go down that rabbit hole of seeing all this negativity. But I firmly believe, with what I see in Arizona since moving here, we have a large coalition of God-fearing Christian people that still believe in life, liberty, and freedom of speech. And we have to. And that was the foundation of Charlie Kirk's belief system. And we have to keep that alive.
Do you think it's possible that this could change some of the people that did not like him, that did not like conservatism, that were Democrats, when they see how he was slaughtered, massacred, killed, that they might change their party? They may say, I don't want to be aligned with the Democrats anymore. This is just out of hand. Do you think that could actually happen?
You're just saying that just gave me goosebumps and raised the hair on my arms, because I really believe that that's what has to happen. I think these young people that are married, have children, that are left-leaning liberals will look at this and say, wait a second, this could happen to us. This could happen to me because of my beliefs. It happened to this young man at 31 years old. He's married, has kids, a young family, and someone just took him out because of what he was speaking about, his truth. He's speaking his truth. So I'm hoping that will be the case, but I think that there's 74 million Republicans in this country, and we need to galvanize and continue to bring people into our party. And it is a party, an all-inclusive party. You know, I'm a 62-year-old openly gay man, and I've been a Republican my entire adult life. And I've done a lot of phone banking at Turning Point for Trump when Trump was running. And we got to keep this going. We cannot let this young man have died in vain because of some idiot that got a hold of a gun and decided to take him out because of his beliefs. It has got to stop. But the most important thing is we have to come together as a country, and we came down today to pay respect and drop off flowers, and it was sort of a healing moment for us. But now the hard work begins of we have to move forward and take Charlie's agenda and continue to push it. And that's my hope, that everybody will take a time out, take a breath, and find common ground for the love of our country, because everybody should be able to agree that the United States of America is the best place in the world to be, and we're still the strongest nation, and we're a nation under God, and that's what we should be as Christians.
We're rolling when you're ready.
Okay, what is your name and what brought you down here?
Jake Lees, and I really honored Charlie for what he did, what he stood for as a fellow brother in Christ. Just want to honor him best way I can. So I got him some flowers, and I would hope that we take a look deep in ourselves as just Americans, because people hated him and people are celebrating online his death, but the guy's a father. His kids don't get to go home to their dad. They didn't know him as Charlie Kirk, as the political analysts. They just knew him as dad. And for someone to be taken in that way, and then having their death be mocked, put in memes, and celebrated, it's just, Americans need to wake up and realize that we're stronger together, and we're a lot more like each other than we are different. And I think you lead like Charlie, with love, and I don't think it's gonna retaliate. I think like the Democratic Party, the party of tolerance, is showing itself to be completely intolerant. So, yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Does this set back his movement, what he was doing at all?
I don't think so. I think it spurns it. I think donations like mine to Turning Point, and I think millions of other people will do the same. So I think it just drives it. Who leads that moment and who leads Turning Point from this point forward is up to Turning Point, or somebody else steps up in another organization that buys out Turning Point, but something will happen, and I think it makes Turning Point that much stronger.
Tell me, why are you here today?
We're just here because we believe in America, and we believe in what Charlie believed in, and we want our country to get better than where it's at right now. Not so divisive. And I think Charlie had it right? If you stop talking, that's when things bad happen. He said it himself. Husbands and wives stop talking, they get divorced, right? Community stop talking, start fighting. Country stop talking, civil wars. And we don't want that. I think what he did was amazing. We own businesses, and I've been getting a lot of hate for speaking our mind on this. So we have to be somewhat careful. But we don't believe in violence. We don't hate anybody. We think what he did was very valiant, and it should not ever be forgotten.
Yeah, he was all about free speech and creating conversation, and then they killed him.
100%. They killed him to shut him up. I don't know if he was starting to get to people. He was changing people's minds and changing people's ideas and doing it the right way, right? No violence. He didn't promote violence in any way whatsoever. You know, people are calling me a racist because I believe in Charlie. I'm the last thing in the world if I'm a racist. Like you said, he just wanted to talk, and that's what he did. That's all he did was talk, cordially, respectfully, and they killed him for it. It's crazy to me.
How do you feel about what happened yesterday?
Oh, I'm still in shock. I used to watch Charlie all the time. We went and listened to him speak when Trump was running, and we know one of his good friends that works here at Turning Point, and I don't know, it's just still can't process it. You know, I see his picture and I think that he's gone, you know, for just sharing the love and the truth of America and what we are supposed to be and what we're supposed to stand for. And, you know, he's just an example of what America should be. Yeah.
The goal was to silence him. Did they accomplish that?
Me and my wife were talking yesterday, and maybe it was his time. Maybe God called him home, and what he did is going to speak even louder now, what he stood for and what he was talking. Maybe people are going to share more about what he was stood for. So I don't think what they did accomplished what they set out to do. Not at all. So, yeah.
Yeah. What does that say about how divisive we all are right now?
I mean, that's a perfect example. I mean, you go from trying to spread the love to getting murdered in front of his kids and his wife. I mean, there's nothing in the world, even if he was a racist, even if he had hate in his heart, you still don't go and murder a 31-year-old kid in front of his kids, right? I mean, we don't, who thinks that's the right thing to do or even reasonable in any way whatsoever? You know, it just kind of blows our mind that it goes from this, or, you know, from, like I said, a conversation to literally getting killed in front of his wife and kids. And the crazy thing about it for me is people celebrating it and saying he deserved it. Nobody deserves to get killed. I mean, argue all you want, man. Shoot, I mean, you even want to throw punches, but no one deserves to get killed. That just blows my mind that anybody in their right mind could say that.
And that's okay.
Even if he was racist, you kill him? I don't think he was racist by any means, right? I'm not racist by any means, but I support the guy. I mean, people have said a lot of stuff to me on the last 2 days, or since last night, you know, because we said that we believe in Charlie. We thought Charlie was a good person. He's not a good person. I hope your business fails. F you. You're a POS. I'm telling everybody that you supported Charlie, and nobody go support your guys' business. It's just crazy to me. Like, it's just crazy.
The hate that the other side has, it's insane, you know? We're here to be loving and understand each other, and they just
unified.
Talk about hate and hating, and sad.
Unified. We're trying to be unified.
Yes.
And like you said, it's more divisive than ever. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Do you think that this is going to create more problems and divisiveness?
I hope not, man. I don't know. He was talking about his wife, talking about with my wife as well. We can't shut our mouths, you know. And like I said, I'm a perfect example. We own businesses, and you know, can't shut up because I own a business because I'm scared that people are going to hate me. You just can't do that. I'm saying it right here in front of anybody. Anyone that sees this, we love America. We believed in Charlie. We are God-fearing people. We believe in the Bible. We believe in heaven. We believe in doing what's right. And if you hate us for that, so be it. I mean, I was born here in the United States. I'm of Mexican descent. I love my descent. I'm super proud to have Mexican blood running through my veins, but I'm an American. I love all people. You know, it's just crazy, you know. It's just crazy that me saying that right there, anyone that sees this, if they see this and they know me and they're not on my side, they're gonna say, you're a piece of shit. You're a racist. Don't support them. They're gonna say, don't support this company. These people are horrible. They're racists. I'm a racist because I believe in America, because I believe in God, because I believe
supported Charlie.
And now I'm a racist.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't divide the country more. I don't know. We're gonna have to see in the next couple days, you know, weeks to come, what this kind of impact had on people like Charlie, if they're gonna continue, Candace and Riley, and if they're, you know I heard Riley say last night that she was scared, and maybe, you know, they're succeeding in what they're trying to do. I hope not.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were past the cancel culture stuff, and this is the ultimate cancel culture event.
Oh, this is by far the ultimate way to try to cancel somebody is by assassinating them, you know. And I hope to God that his voice lives on and what he stood for lives on, and what he said, if it reaches, you know, that it reaches more people, and what he did wasn't for nothing. So
thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so we've been here for about an hour, and we're talking to people that are here. One thing that a couple people have said to me privately is, we can't be silenced, we can't worry about what might happen, and we're all standing here, and we're like, this is just, you don't know what's going to happen right now. Like, some crazy lunatic could come driving down the street and mow us all down. Do we need to like start looking on rooftops for people with guns? I mean, at what point do we need to worry about our own safety when you think that you don't have to worry about that? Are we sitting here right now about to possibly have something happen to us? It's just crazy what's going on in this country, and you think that you're safe, and you think that maybe you've got nothing to worry about, and that is not the case at all, clearly. Nobody's safe, and that sucks. Cancel culture is real, and people are taking extreme measures to just, this political division is just crazy. What is your name and why are you here?
Stephen, Charlie, for Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Why did you come down here today?
made it a point, well, not an appointment, but I made it a thing to come here today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think about what happened yesterday?
Angry. Very angry. Yeah, very angry.
Why do you think that happened?
What happened to Charlie? Because you got deranged idiots out there, that's why. They can't. If somebody has a different of opinion, they want to do what they did to Charlie. And they call us the fascists and the Nazis and stuff, so.
Do you think this is going to change the minds of Democrat supporters who see their own party assassinating the other party? Will it backfire on them that you have liberal folks that are now going to be like, I can't be associated with that party anymore? This is just batshit crazy. Do you think that could actually happen?
I did think that when the attempted assassination on President Trump. I had hoped. But I was proven wrong. It's not what happened. It's a hoax, right? It's fake. All of these things, excuses. And God bless Donald Trump for the way he has responded. It is divine, right? That is amazing. But what I saw afterwards was pretty much the opposite of what you're describing. Rather than logic and saying, wow, I can't be affiliated with this. What are we talking about? Look at the statistics. The right is supposed to be the crazy ones with weapons, and the extremists. But look, that's unfortunately just been wishful thinking. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't predict what these people are going to think, say, and do. What I do know is that what was meant for evil, God will use for his glory. I believe that Satan made a huge mistake. I believe that this is going to have the opposite effect as intended. I believe that the ones in the center right, critical thinking people are going to band together and pursue truth. They're going to see it for what happens. I believe that, again, the Bible says, Romans 5:3-4, he says we should rejoice in our suffering because suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance builds character. And character gives hope. So I believe what was meant for evil, God will use for his glory. There's going to be a massive awakening amongst Christians, amongst conservatives, Republicans, and they're going to be on fire. on fire for what's right. I believe that in my heart, and that's why I'm here.
All right, so people continue to gather here. There's kind of a traffic thing going on. They're starting to maybe kind of direct traffic. People are meeting each other, sharing stories. There's lots of tears, lots of people that are saying, what in the heck is going on in this country? And I think people are a little bit worried about the future of everything. But a lot of people we've talked to said that this isn't going to change anything, that the young people are going to continue, and it may even empower them a little bit more. But I don't think we even really know what this is going to mean really right now. I don't think we're going to know for a while what this means and what this is going to mean.